WWNC News Time, 8:36. Good Monday morning. I'm Jerri Jameson. Now, Asheville City Council member Dr. Carl Mumpower is running as a Republican for the U.S. 11th Congressional District seat. However, Dr. Mumpower has issued a statement saying his campaign is on hold. To make sure we are clear on what exactly Dr. Mumpower's intentions are, we spoke earlier this morning with Dr. Mumpower himself, and we will replay that interview now. Now, Dr. Carl Mumpower is Asheville City Council member and Republican candidate for the 11th District U.S. Congressional seat currently held by Democrat Heath Shuler. Now, Dr. Mumpower has sent a release to the media saying he has put his campaign on hold. With me on the phone this morning to discuss exactly what that means is Dr. Mumpower. So good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Jerry. I'm fine.
It's an early morning, no?
It is. It's a nice morning. It's beautiful out here.
It is. And you get up with the crows, though, don't you?
Yeah, I have to. I've got so many people mad at me. I have to start my day early.
I'll bet you do. Now, your letter to the GOP officials says you are, and I'm going to quote it here to make sure I don't say anything out of the ordinary here, that you are looking forward to an accelerating campaign that finds us earning versus purchasing a seat in Congress. Yet it says you're putting your campaign on hold. So what exactly does that mean? Are you no longer a candidate?
No, I'm still a candidate, Jerry, but I'm not going to actively campaign, especially with my own party's activities until we do job one, and that is recommit ourselves to our core principles. As everybody knows, Republicans have drifted over a period of time away from those principles. We've become basically Democrat light, and that's not okay. I want people in Western North Carolina to know when they vote for a Republican, not just me, but when they vote for a Republican, that Republican stands for something. They stand for being careful with your money. They stand for protecting the country, including our borders. They stand for making people big and government small. And until we get that in place, I think it's silly for me to press on and go after Shuler for his failure to uphold a principled campaign.
So what if the Republican Party does not come together on core principles?
Then I'll walk it alone. I'll walk it with the people that do believe in those principles. I'll walk it with the independent voters and the people that believe that we're in a state of urgency in America, that frankly, one of the criticisms I get is you're not being nice right now. Anybody that looks around at America and believes that being nice is enough is not paying attention. We're in serious trouble, and we better get back to our foundation, or I have concerns, and I know many other people do, about where the country's going.
So though you say you're not going to actively campaign within the Republican Party, are you remaining a registered Republican?
Oh, of course. I'm a Republican first and foremost. I believe in the Republican Party strongly. My concern is that we've drifted away from those core principles, the principles we've committed ourselves to, the principles we promised to stand by and have betrayed, I think betrayed the American people. No, I'm not going away from the Republican Party. I'm fighting hard to get us back to where we belong.
So what you're saying is the Republican Party has sort of left you?
Yes.
Or your beliefs?
Yes. The Democrat Party, as far as I'm concerned, is too late. They've been kidnapped by special interests and extremists, but I don't think it's too late for the Republican Party. I think we can pull us back to our core values, and there's nothing exotic there. It's something I think probably 80% of America would agree with, and that is looking out for the safety of the country, our borders, protecting people's, being careful with their money, keeping government contained and restrained. And that's where most of us, our values fall, but nobody can count on that anymore. I want to start a movement in Western North Carolina that when you vote for a Republican, you know where they stand, and they're going to stick by that. And if we can get the party, what I'm asking for basically is I want at least half of the counties in the district to say, hey, we're going to develop a process whereby we hold our elected officials, Republican officials, accountable for paying attention to our values and our principles. And if we don't, we're going to let them know. We're not going to beat them up. We're not going to give them a lot of grief. We're just going to hold up our hand and say it's not okay what you're doing. That's enough. That will begin to turn the party in the right direction.
Well, now, we started this interview with you saying that you've got a lot of people mad at you, and I mean, I think there's been no question that you've upset the Republican Party locally as well as probably further along statewide and perhaps even nationally. So what effect do you think this statement is going to have on your campaign?
Oh, it's going to make more of them mad, but what would I expect? the people who have been looking away from our failure to uphold our word, the people who have been supporting or remaining passive in the face of this loss of principle, are certainly not going to be happy at being challenged, but that's okay. If I have a courage button, I need to use it. Now's the time. I have an opportunity, a window of opportunity to help redirect my party to get back control of the wheel and redirect my party to our core principles. I don't expect to be applauded for that effort. It's the right thing. I'm going to stay with it. Most good things that people do start with one or two folks and turn into a movement. I'm hoping people will get behind me, understand what I'm trying to do. It's not about me. It's about our principles.
So what, should you be elected, what are your top 3 priorities?
Well, the economy is terribly scary to me. I think we have fiddled while Rome is burned, and we've got to get our focus back on that, getting our tax code back down to earth, getting the costs or our expenses down to earth, getting a model of leadership in place that can actually solve problems and do something more about focus on nonsense and spend other people's money. I'm obviously concerned about foreign entanglements. I think we've made some very unwise choices and are potentially going to make more if we're not careful. It has nothing to do with conservative or liberal. It has to do with what works and doesn't. And before we try to fix the world, we need to fix America. We need to get our borders under control. We need to start enforcing our laws. Don't pass them unless we're going to enforce them. We need to start making sure that we have a government that can manage America. And then if we've got any leftover energy, we can put it into other places and other people.
All right, Dr. Mumpower, we have just about a minute left. What final words do you have to our community?
Well, it's a painful situation to be in, but it's an honor to be in this situation, and it's not a fight between myself and Republicans. It's a fight between myself and the Republican leadership. And I have faith in these folks that they'll come around if I can stand firm and not give in to the temptations of comfort and self-interest. I have faith that these folks will come around and get us back to where we belong, and that's simply a recommitment, a rededication to our core principles and what's right, and then hold firmly to those principles to where people in western North Carolina, and I hope the whole country, it can start here and it can spread all over, know that when they vote for one of us, they can count on us, and we're not going to step away from our commitments and promises.
All right, and should someone want to learn more about your campaign and your candidacy, Dr. Mumpower, how can they go about that?
Well, our website's the best place. That's www.mumpower08.com. They can also give us a call, send us an email. You can come right to me if you want to, drmumpower@aol.com. I'm happy to communicate with anybody. I welcome anyone's support. Please know I'm sincere. This is not about me and my principles. It's about our principles and getting the country back on the right course.
All right, Dr. Carl Mumpower, Asheville City Council member and Republican candidate for the 11th District U.S. Congressional seat. Thank you so much, Dr. Mumpower. Good luck in your endeavors. WWNC News Time, 8:45.